Well, hi guys, welcome back to Linda's Pantry, and today I am gonna answer some of your questions. I got an overwhelming response on the video where I ask you to go ahead and give me some questions on, give me canning questions on Tattler lids, rings, and button top lids. So I got way more than I expected. I won't be able to answer all of them in this video, but I promise you that next week I will go through and answer some more questions. I promise, but there's almost 170 comments. So a lot of them are also commenting because I asked you to, and maybe I muddied the waters a little bit, I apologize, but I asked you if you wanted to see full recipes of using my home canned pantry stuff in my everyday cooking, or and some of my, you know, freeze dried and frozen, whatever I've got in the pantry in my food stores. And or would you like to see like little snippets throughout, you know, 5 or 6 meals? And overwhelmingly, not just me, but Lisa put out a video too. Overwhelmingly, it is full recipes. So we're gonna honor that, and that you look forward to that. We're gonna put something together for you that's gonna be fantastic. So anyway, we did hear your desire. So some of you said, I have zero imagination when it comes to meal planning, prep, and with my food, you know, my home canned food that I've gotten all these things canned, and I don't know what to do. So we're gonna show you what we do. We're gonna get some ideas and kick them around. We're also, or I'm gonna be asking you to share some stuff with us, and maybe we can do videos on that as well. But first off, let's answer some questions. Okay. A lot of us are still having a lot of trouble getting lids and lids and rings. I mean, I got this a while back. I was shocked. There was one, I bought it. Most of the time now, you have to buy a whole flat of jars to get the lids and rings. So that shows you what their production is. They're putting it on the jars. They're not selling them separately in a box, only in certain areas. And so here where I am in the Northwest, it's still very, very limited, or at least how I've come across it. But I'm here to answer questions about, one of the questions was, you know, supply. And everybody's trying to build their jar supply. Let's see, I have full meals. Okay. Oh, okay. I don't know a thing about Tattler. Beverly Thorpe. I don't know a thing about Tattler lids or rings, so could you please break it down Barney style for me? I'd also like full meals and the snippets. Oh, she wants both. Give me all you got, girl. Love you. Love your videos. Okay, so Tattler lids. Let's break it down. Tattler lids, and I know there's another question in here on the Easy Seal opposed to the regular seal. Easy Seal lids, I believe, I don't know if they come in white now, but these were a gift. Somebody sent me these, and these are the Easy Seal. And you don't have to tighten them down. You fingertip tight. I use them. I've used these several times, actually probably 10, 15 times. You don't have to tighten them down after you bring them out of the canner. Now, I've shown over and over in different videos how I tighten a regular Tattler lid. A regular Tattler lid, the instructions are on the box, and it's infinitely reusable for pressure canner, water bath, or vacuum sealing. FDA and USDA approved materials, use standard metal band, and they're dishwasher safe. So the gaskets themselves are, they say up to 10 uses. I put a little Sharpie mark, and I show you in my videos, I put a little Sharpie mark so to tell me how many times I've used it. Every time I go to use it again, I put another Sharpie mark. And then if it fails though, I usually toss it. I'm done with that one. But let's say this is a regular Tattler. You're going to, once you get your jar filled, and the rim is wiped off, you're going to tighten it finger tight and back it off 1/4 of an inch maybe. And what that allows and even on this kind of button top lid, you can't crank it down, or you're going to force the jar not to be able to vent, and it can buckle your jar. In the Tattler case, it will keep it from sealing completely. In a button top lid, it's going to buckle the lid. It may or may not seal, and it's going to mess up your process. So yeah, fingertip tight and then back it off. Now, when you take them out of the canner, and it's up to you, I always rest my jars because I hate siphoning. So I always rest my jars in the canner for, let that kind of calm down a little bit for 15-20 minutes. I don't just pull that lid off and pull my jars out while they're boiling and crank down the lid. I let them calm down, and then I go ahead and go with towels, crank it down. If I ever heard any hissing or anything, I would not touch it. I would leave it in the canner, or if I did bring it out on the counter and it started that, I wouldn't touch it and leave it alone. It's not worth it. If you have to reprocess or put it in the fridge, there you go. So Tattler lids, the easy seal, you don't have to tighten them down when you bring them out of the canner. You just strictly and I think a lot of people are kind of gravitating towards those, but all of mine are the regular ones. I'm used to it. I have a pretty good success rate with them. Once you get the feel for them, you're gonna have really good success, and you don't have to worry about the stores having lids, because they don't. I haven't found any here locally. It's been hit and miss, or they're the off-brand that I mainstay at Walmart. I'm not comfortable with that, so I'm gonna stick with Ball or Kerr or Bernardin. So if I can't find those, I'll just stick with using Tattlers, and I believe I have enough to last me the rest of my canning career. Anyway, okay, so Tattler lids, I think I've gotten that. Do I leave the ring on after I'm done? Nope. As soon as these jars are cooled off, on Tattlers especially, as soon as they're cooled off a couple hours, I will take those rings off, and I just get an idea, is it really on there? And then I leave it. If it tells me yes, I leave it alone, and I wait until in the morning to wash the jars up, and I double check it again. But if it's meat in there, I don't want to leave it out on the counter all night, so I go ahead and check. It doesn't matter if it's button top or not. I let the jars cool down where they're comfortable, cool to the touch, and then I take those rings off and check the seal. That's just me. Let's see if we can find another question. Okay, full meals. Looks like full meals, Tattlers. I want to know everything. I hope I gave you some answers to that. Do you still let the jar sit on the counter for 24 hours after they come out of the canner, unless when using Tattler lids? And that was from the Minin. Yes, I actually will, even after I've washed my jars, I'll wash them the next day. I'll leave them out on the counter for a couple of days, because I can tell you, I've had pie filling. It's only happened on pie filling, but pie filling swells so much that I've had it swell and seep up under this lid, and then I'll look and I'll see that the pie filling is no longer where it was, the headspace, which tells me that something's happened with my seal, and sure enough. So I've gotten in the habit of leaving all my jars, doesn't matter what kind of lid, I leave them out on the counter for a couple of days, and I admire my work because I store them in jar boxes, so I don't really get to see them pretty on a shelf. which is fine with me. I know they're safe in those jar boxes. They're safe from temperature changes, severe temperature changes, and if I did have something come undone, it's isolated in a little, compartment. I've never had anything be weird, but let's say, yeah, I love to admire them. I think they're beautiful. I store some of my newer, pretty canning sessions. I'll store a couple jars on my hutch just so I can look at them because I do love it. So, okay, let's go to another question. I'm just gonna get through some of these that I think, let's see. Well, here's a question that's kind of different. I do have a question from Donna Engel. I do have a question. Do you ladies have a schedule, like days of the week for canning, baking, or prepping? And I have to go around my days off. So I'm almost to the point where if I'm gonna do canning, I prep the day before and I can the day after because I just don't have the time to do it any differently. But when I have a whole day and I know I'm gonna can and I'm gonna be in the kitchen, I do it that way. So I hope that helps. I don't know how other those of us do it differently. Tattler lid question from Kim Curtis. Tattler lids question. I've read and heard conflicting instructions on do you immediately after processing the jars, letting it sit on the counter for 5 minutes. So I kind of answered that question. I had remembered reading that one. So yeah, I let mine rest. I don't pull them out and immediately do anything with them. Because I don't want any more siphoning than has to happen. The difference between using Tattler lids and Easy Seal lids, there's no difference except you don't have to tighten it after. And I can tell you, I have had several canning sessions that I could tell that lid sucked down without me tightening the lid, not the Easy Seal lids. And so I just leave it alone and I've had great success. I do have better success if I tighten it on that particular type. So if you're worried about it, just get the Easy Seal if you can get a hold of them. I haven't had any problems getting Tattlers. I ordered a few more because I gave some away, so I ordered some replacements. It took weeks to get them, but I did get them. So, let's see. Full meals. Step by step. Using Tattler lids would be great. Okay, and she'd like snippets. Let's get some more questions. We want to answer all the questions if we can. Look at all these full meals. Lucky for me, I need jars and lids. I've got my pressure canner 6 weeks ago and I'm up to, or lucky for me, I need jars and lids. I got my pressure canner, this is Karen F, 6 weeks ago and I'm up to 225 can jars. Oh, let's see. I have become obsessed. Clean out the freezer and getting variety. That's awesome, Karen. I love that. It is addicting. And to know that you don't have to worry about electricity, you know that that's on your pantry shelf for way longer than it can last in the freezer. No freezer burn. Good deal. Good for you. How many times can you use them? Okay, so I'm assuming you're talking about Tattler lids. You can use the actual lid. It's a 2-piece system. So whether it be the white ones or this, indefinitely. This is a BPA-free, dishwasher safe. You can use this indefinitely. These gaskets up to, they say 10 times. I've had some that I used way more than that. So as soon as I have a fail though, I'll toss the gasket. So that's the only thing that has to be replaced, but you get to use it several times. Don't be scared. On a button top, metal button top lids, one time. I know people are advocating using them over again. I will not be a part of that group because I've had people that I know that did it and their jars came unsealed months later, or they don't even know when, in their food storage, and now they've got wasted food and a lid that didn't hold the seal, because the rubber gasket, that plastic seal that's on there, is not thick enough to use over and over again. These gaskets are thick. They're thick. They're meant to be used over and over. So that's the answer on that one. And these are all my opinions, so if it's not you, don't worry about it. Okay, I'm gonna answer a couple more if I can find them. Single piece. Okay, so here's a good question. Tone Anderson, single piece lids, help! I only get jars with single piece lids. Is the process different? Any different? No, it's not. The processing is going to be the same whether it's Tattler lids or button top lids. I call them button top lids, but the metal button top lids. You're still going to use the same ring on both applications. Process is absolutely the same, whether it's water bath, vacuum sealing, or pressure canning. People stocking up on their stuff. Here's some more meals. I just can't. Let's see. Full meals. I want to answer one more question, so I cut this a little bit shorter, and then we're going to go to the next video, and I will give you some more questions answered. So if you want, if you didn't get your question answered on this video, leave it in the comment section below, right below here, so I can grab it. It's hard to sift through. Yeah, I can't find ball lids. Let's see. Oh, how do you store different types of lids? Bands, empty jars. Okay, so I have, that's a good question. I have a ring that's just of wire that I hang my lids on in the garage on my canning rack. I have a canning rack out there, and so I have them. I store them out there. My lids and rings, or my lids, a lot of them are in the house, but I have a tote in the garage for excess. So all my excess lids, I have one drawer in here for a small amount, and then excess lids go out there. But the other implements, my jar lifter, my debubbler, all that's all stored in the house. So I do, and I store all my jars without the rings. The only time I don't store them without rings, and it's only because I give it away, is jams and jellies, and I usually wait until I'm gonna give it away that I put the ring back on, and I make sure they get a pretty ring, because you know you're not gonna get that back. So anyway, yeah, I just store them. I got a tote out there and store them like that. Now I will go over if I get any rust or anything going on, or because the metal on these rings is so thin that I don't wash them in the dishwasher, because the bleach that's in the dishwasher tabs kind of eats away and corrodes at this. It's hard on your knives, it's hard on this. So I don't put excessive amounts of vinegar in my canners either. It's a couple tablespoons and that's it, just to keep the jars from getting cloudy, but it washes off with Dawn dish soap and a little bit of vinegar on your sponge, and all that, any residue will wash off. I just don't want my canner all dummied up. So I'm gonna end this video and let you know, guys, this has been a great journey. I really, oh, they want a pantry tour. I might be able to do that for you, but I'm thinking about doing something new for you guys, so I probably would save it for that. That'll be a video coming up. Let's see, could I use half pints for meat canning? Soon my last child is moving out, and my hubby and I can always use a pint jar of chicken, or can't always use a full pint jar. My My opinion is, yes, absolutely you can. You've got to can it for the full amount of time, which may be a little overkill. I know people that do it. I did can some chicken salad in half-pint jars. It's not a lot of meat though. I'm gonna tell you, you do a test run, you may find that, oh crap, I gotta open 2 because it's not quite enough. Just plan that pint of chicken 2 different meals. That's how I do it. Like when I do tuna or salmon, this is tuna. This is so much tuna, and I probably will can it in smaller jars, but I do half the jar gets tuna casserole and half the jar is tuna salad. So I don't have to eat the same thing and it's okay. But next time I do tuna, I will be doing it. So absolutely, you certainly can. All right, guys, I can't wait to see you for another delicious recipe. Please, if I didn't get to your question and it's burning a hole in your question pocket, leave me a comment in the comment section and I will get to you on the next video that I do addressing canning questions on jars, lids, or not jars, but lids and rings and tattlers and button tops and, you know. All right, guys.